Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic and the return of an old friend to the channel this evening in the form of Tallcat, who is actually one of our moderators when streaming, and a puzzle called Framed, which has been recommended to us a great deal with some just fulsome praise. Apparently this is a brilliant construction. These are quadruple clues in the grid, so that means that sort of round that circle there, the digits 3 and 4 must appear at least once each, and then the circles and the lines are between lines, so whatever digits you put in those two cells, those digits on the line between those two cells would have to have values between the circled digits, and that I think is all the rules. That is all the rules. So I will read the rules properly in a moment or two's time, but it's a very I suppose a straightforward rule set, but it's meant to be a really wonderful puzzle. I think 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so hopefully we'll be able to do it. We shall see how we get on. Now, speaking of streaming, we are streaming tonight. I am slightly nervous, more nervous than usual about this. So 10 p.m. UK time, we're going to be resuming our battle with Memrista's Caterdokupillar, the series of 189 linked 6x6 Sudoku puzzles. But Mark is going to have had a very boozy day today. He's got a crossword lunch, followed by a dinner, which I think is preceded by drinks. So by 10 p.m. this evening, he's going to be in all sorts of trouble, and goodness only knows how that will reflect on the two of us during the stream. But we shall see. We shall see. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. Let me think about some other things that I can mention to you. We've got our new Fog of War Sudoku app out. Do check that out. It's our most popular app ever. It's really, really wonderful. And over on Patreon we have this month's Sudoku Hunt as well, which has got, I think, well over 1,000 solves. So well done if you're one of those 1,000 people who've got through all of the puzzles in that hunt. And the prize is going to be, just as last month, the chance to make a Sudoku video with me, which you might not want as a prize, and that's fine. Then you'll get gaming keys. But if you do fancy making a Sudoku video with me, then do make sure you've entered the competition. Plenty of time left. The closing date is the 20th. Now, if you'll indulge me for a moment, I am going to share with you an email that we've just had in, which I thought was rather lovely. And it resonated quite a lot with me, actually, in terms of some of the thoughts about Sudoku and its effect on your mental health. So I'm going to read you an email that we've had in from G, and here it is. Greetings from Norway. I am a 47-year-old father of 2. I'm a big fan of your channel on YouTube. I discovered it in the fall of 2021 when the almighty YouTube algorithm suggested your second most watched video to me. At that time, I do not think I had ever solved a single Sudoku. I knew what it was. I had seen the puzzles in the paper, but I'd never tried to solve any of them. I saw the video, The Miracle Sudoku, and it changed my life. I'm not even exaggerating. It did. After that video, I saw another, and then another, and another. I saw hours and hours of video. Every chance I got, I watched your videos. On the bus, in the bath, in the kitchen, whenever I had a moment to myself, I watched Cracking the Cryptic. I was hooked. My wife laughed at me. She thought it was the nerdiest thing ever. Videos of 2 British men solving number puzzles on YouTube. That's about as nerdy as it gets. I started solving puzzles too. I went from never solving a single Sudoku in 47 years to having solved hundreds in weeks. I absolutely love it. I've been thinking quite a lot about what it is that got me hooked. I remember Simon once mentioning that fans of the channel had written to him about how they used the videos to relax, to help them sleep, to get rid of anxiety. I do the same. I think this is what got me hooked. I struggle, as many do, with anxiety and depression. My brain chemicals are a bit more unbalanced than most people's. It's just how life is. Evolution has dealt us all different cards. Some people have bad eyesight. Some have big ears, some have skinny legs, and some people, like me, have low levels of serotonin. I have accepted that life is an uphill struggle, and have adapted as best I can to it. For someone with my condition, my brain activity is sometimes just pure chaos, and when my brain is in chaos mode, a lot of everyday activity is perceived as chaotic to me. I have some techniques for managing this. I make lists, I keep a detailed calendar, etc. And now I also have Sudoku, and that works as an anti-anxiety medicine. A good Sudoku is what I like to call a single focused task. It does not require you to do different things or involve other people, like most chores or work-related activity does, in my work at least. I can sit down and not think about anything than that specific Sudoku. It has set rules, which are wonderful for someone that stresses about most complex tasks. It has a defined problem and only one solution, and it has a logical way of getting to the solution. In short, life is chaos. Sudoku is order. Is that a t-shirt? It sounds like a t-shirt. And my brain loves order. And then there are less intrusive thoughts, less chaos in my head, and life seems a bit more manageable. And I think that makes what you do important. Then there's some other nice messages and a message of Happy Christmas. But, well, thank you very much, G, for writing that to us. I mean, we do get a few emails, each and every week along those lines. And I get it. I totally do. For me, it would be puzzle solving or perhaps skiing, if I ever get to do that, which is rare nowadays. A single focus task, something that just skiing. I have to focus all my attention on it, or I will die. Sudoku isn't quite that dramatic, but the thought, as so well expressed in G's email about there being, it's a difficult puzzle often, but it has a single solution, and that you can bring some order to the chaos, definitely resonated with me. And I thought it might resonate with some of you too, so I hope you don't mind me sharing that with you. Now, I've got some other messages as well. Let's do some birthdays. Lydia, over there in Greece. I know it's your birthday because your son Alex wrote to us. Apparently he's studying in a different city to where you are at the moment, and he wanted to say happy birthday via the medium of me. So I hope that's okay. And Lydia, I hope you have a great day today, maybe with some chocolate cake. Next, Dale. Dale, you've turned the big 50 today. I know this because your wife Helen wrote to us and told us you watch every day, so I hope your chocolate cake is very heavily iced as well. Jessica, I'm late with this one. You've turned a secret age, but the message that advising me of your birthday only arrived at 8 p.m. yesterday, which wasn't in time for the 8:30 video. Believe it or not, these videos do take a little bit of time to create. So I hope you had a great birthday yesterday over there in Virginia, and I think you've turned. Oh no, I've got 40. I've overaged you. That's appalling. It's not 45. You're Douglas Adams' age, aren't you? You're the secret to life, the universe, and everything, which is definitely not 45. You've got 3 years till you reach 45. Jessica, my apologies. That's an awful thing to do, especially to a lady. Anyway, Jessica, I hope it was a good day yesterday. And next, Sally. Sally, from your sister Anne. We've known Sally and Anne for a long time. The two of them have watched for years. I think the two of you are 2 of 6 siblings, if I'm not mistaken, and you're the only 2 puzzlers amongst the 6. You should try and convert the others, definitely. But yeah, Sally, I read from Anne that you have qualified for the US Kung Fu team this year. That's incredibly impressive and slightly scary. So Sally, I wish you good luck in, what do you have in Kung Fu? Bouts or something? I wish you good luck in all your bouts for the coming year. And I hope that your birthday today is splendid and filled with cake. And with that said and done, let's have a look at the rules of Framed by Tallcat. They are as follows. we have got normal Sudoku rules apply, so we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Then it says between lines, cells along lines between two filled circles must have values between those in the circles. So imagine this was 3 and this was 8. Then these squares would have to be from 4, 5, 6 and 7 in order to have values between the two in the circles. And then quadruples, I love quadruple clues. Digits in white circles must be present at least once in the cells that the clue touches. So those cells have to contain 3 and 4 at least once. These have to contain 5 and 6, these 2 and 8, these 7 and 9. One of those has to be a 1, etc. Very simple, but sometimes very, very beautiful. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. I will immediately share the only secret I know about between lines with you, and that is that you can never put 1s and 9s on lines, because let's try and do that. What happens if you put a 1 on a between line? The problem is that one of these digits now has to be below 1, and there are no such Sudoku digits. So if we could do 0 and 9, it would be fine, but we can't. So yeah, so look at row 1, for example. I can see that 1 in row 1 is over there. In fact, I can see 9 is over there as well. And that's all I'm doing there is I'm saying no 1s and 9s on lines. And I can note that there's a 1 in that little quadruple clue. So the 1 in row 1 can't be there or there, so it must be over here. And the same seems to be true of 9. Now, the other thing you can do sometimes with quadruple clues is look for coincidences in the... I can't actually see any of these. This is terrible. There normally are coincidences. So, I mean, I haven't got a good example of this, but imagine this wasn't a 2-8 clue, but was a 5-8 clue. Then we could immediately say that there could be no more 5s in columns 3 and 4, because we know in column 3 there will be a 5, in column 4 there would be a 5, and if there's a 5 around there and a 5 around there, the 2 5s that must exist in these two columns would be consumed within those 8 cells. I'm just trying to explain how I do the puzzles, or the sorts of things I look for in the puzzles. Even though that actually seems remarkably unhelpful here. Oh, sorry, look, you can't put 1 on a line. Oh, you can't put 9 on a line. Right, look, this is where I should have focused, I think. Right, let's look at this. Ah. Right, that line. Well, the circles that frame this line here, neither of the circles can be a 1. That can't be a 9 either. Can that be a 9? Maybe. But it's immediately a little bit interesting, that. Because if you can't put 1 in a circle, you can't put 2 on the line. Because think about it. If we put a 2 on the line now, I need a 1 in a circle, which I can't have. So there's a sort of symbiotic relationship between the circles and what you can put on the line. So that means that the minimum digit you can have on this line is a 3. That might be important. I can't see why though. Maybe we'll do it the other side. Now on the other side, the symmetry suggests that we can't put 9 in either of those, which means same principle. We can't put 8 on the line now. So I don't know what that means either, I'm afraid. All of these lines are similar in the sense that they all take every single line in the grid. Let's get rid of those blue thingies. Every single line in the grid is a 3-cell sequence that can't contain a repeated digit either, so these lines aren't wiggling around very much. Yeah, there's almost a swordfish, isn't there? Where are 1 and 9 in columns? If we just highlight those cells for a moment, you can see in column 2 and column 8, 1 and 9 can't be in the green cells, so 1 and 9 have to be in these cells. Actually, let's just highlight this in case it's important. So 1 in column 2 can only be in those cells. It can't be here because of this quadruple clue. I think it can be on all 3 of those on the other side. Let's try 9 then. So 9 can be here apparently. Can 9 be there? Oh no, it's not quite working. 9 can't be there. It's weird. It feels like, you know, if we could find another column now where 1 and 9 was restricted to these rows, we would be doing something quite useful. Focus on 1s and 9s. Right, there's a 7-9 pair there. Oh goodness, I don't know. What's going on? Okay, I don't know. Goodness me. Sorry about this. Oh, maybe, hang on, let's try something different. I'm just going to do, this was useless, I'm just going to delete it. Let's try those 2 digits have to go in those squares in row, in this box, because whatever these digits are, they can't go on their own between line, sort of axiomatically, so that digit is going to be in there and then transposed up here, and it can't be 1, can it? Because of this. Yeah, that digit can't be 1 or 9, so that is the most extreme it can be. And it tends to be the case that you put extreme digits in the circles for obvious reasons. So if that was as low as it could be, 6, 7. Yeah, it's the same is true there, isn't it? So the furthest these can be apart is 2 and 8, which means those digits are selected from only 5 different digits. Not 5 different digits, because I can't put 5 in them. Right, 4 different digits. We're getting it a little bit more restricted, because these might not be 2 and 8, but let's say they are, which is the most extreme they can be, because neither circle can be 1 or 9. Now, that gives, in theory, 5 digits that could be on this line, except there is a 5 there, look. So 3, 4, 6 or 7, that one can't be 7 because there is a 7 in one of those. Yeah, I see. Right. Yes, okay, let me just delete that for a moment. This 7, that is interesting, actually. Because if the 7 is on the line, then one of these needs to be an 8. But if the 7 is not on the line, in this little purple 2x2, it's going to look at the circles, isn't it? And prevent us from putting 7 into a circle. Now, if we do that, okay. So I think what this clue is doing is it's telling us one of these 2 circles is an 8. I don't know which one. I don't really even know how to pencil mark that. Because imagine neither green cell was an 8. We've just shown it can't be a 7 because of this quadruple clue. So the highest digit we could then put in, let's put in a 6 and see if it can work. It can't work, because this digit must now be lower than 6, because there are not 3 digits higher than 6 and then a cap. We can't go 7, 8, 9, 10 here. So this is lower than 6 but can't be 1. So it could be 2. But then these need to be 3, 4, 5, which this prevents. It's quite complicated, isn't it? But it does mean that one of the green cells is an 8. Now, if this is an 8, there's an 8 there. And there's an 8 down here. Oh, come on, Simon. What on earth does this mean? If okay, what's the other one? The one of these that isn't 8. 7, 6, 4 would be the maximum digits we could have on the line. Right, so these squares are from 2, 3 and 8, and one of them is an 8. I don't have a good way of pencil marking it, so I'm going to have to use this dreadful corner pencil mark across boxes here. But that is true. One of those is 8. Oh, I see. So 8, 7, 6, 5. Is it sort of like a Dutch whisper thing, this? But all I'm thinking there is that whichever one of the, if that's 8, that has to be the other side of 5, doesn't it? It has to be at least 4 different. If that's 8, we could go 7, 6, 5, 4. And then this would have to be high again. And if that's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. No, you can't. I can't put 4 there. Or there, I don't think. Oh, hang on. There's something going on in column. Whichever one of these is 8, I think is making. Well, one of them has to be 8, though. Yeah, there's something going on with the digits on the lines in column 2 and column 8, I think. It might be that you have to have an 8-9 pair in these squares. No, actually, I'm wrong. Because what I'm thinking is, I don't really know how to show this because I don't know which of these is 8, but I feel like whichever one of these is 8, it's going to have another high digit down at the bottom of the grid. And then we're going to have to think about how we fit 6 digits in total. Yeah, maybe it's these digits that are the most pressurized, actually. Because they have to allow the space. Yeah, imagine. Yeah, okay, this might be right. Imagine this was 4 and this was 8, just for the sake of exposition. We can fill this line, no problem at all, but we can't fill that line as well. Because the implication of putting 4 here, it's not 1, 2 and 3 now are totally ruled out of these lines. Because this will be higher than 4. So in this column, 1, 2 and 3 have to go in those squares as well as 9. And that's impossible. So if that's... In fact, hang on. No, there's a further implication. I said 1, 2 and 3 have to go in those. So does 4 itself. If that's a 4, you can't put 4 on the line. Ah, right. So this would have to be 1 or 2. And that's the same if this is 8. Oh, so if this is 8, that is 2, I think. So there's something going on here, isn't there? I haven't quite got it yet, but I think I'm getting to the... I'm starting to understand where we have to look, where the constraint lives in the puzzle. Okay, so we're saying that has to be 1 or 2. And does that have to be 9? Ah, no. Ah, okay, hang on. Let's try this the other way round. Because I think this has more problem being high. And, okay. So I think what Tallcat has done, it is something to do with Dutch whispers. Right, let's see if we can establish that there is an oscillation of circles here. What do I mean by an oscillation of circles? What I mean is that one of these digits is high and one of these digits is low in order to allow this line to exist and there to be values between these two digits. And when I say high and low, I'm not talking about dramatically high and low. I'm just saying, well, one of them is going to be 8, one of them is going to be 2 or 3. Now, I'm going to just let's make that low this time, and we'll make this high. So we'll have hot digits for sunny orange and cold digits for bluey icy. Now, if this is a cold digit, let's actually put it in, and that's a hot digit. How does it work for this cell? Well, there's got to be 3 digits here that cannot be lower than whatever we've put in here. So let's say this was 2 and this was 3, 4, 5. This was at least 6, isn't it? That's absolutely forced. So I'm going to say 6 is higher than 5, which is the average Sudoku digit. So that has to be a high digit. And even if it's 6, which is the lowest it can be, we can't put 7, 8, 9 on this line. So this can't be high as well. This has to go down again. And here's the point. Here is the point. We have a problem with this cell now, because this cannot be 8 and cannot be 9. So it is 6 or 7. Now let's say it's as big as we can make it, because we need to create room. But this doesn't work, because remember what the problem we had when we tried 3 or 4 here. We've got to look at this column. Let's make this 7, and somehow in this column now 7 is not on a line. Neither is 8, neither is 9. So 7, 8 and 9 have to occupy those cells as well as 1. And that is impossible. That's right, isn't it? That is right. And what that means is we are not in this world. And this is going to propagate. If that's low, 7, 6, well, this isn't going to be... Okay, so what we've now deduced is that this is high. That's our first digit. That is 8, which we're going to say is an orange digit. This is 2 or 3, not 8. So let me tidy up all my pencil marks, and then we can understand what's going on better. So this digit is now definitely low. I'm not prepared to pencil mark it yet. We're going to have to work it out. But can it be 1? Don't know. Maybe it can be. If it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5 might be possible here. 5 is a bit middly, isn't it? I didn't want to arrive at that conclusion. Okay, well, let's try that one. If that's 2, 3, 4, 5, that is at least 6. That's definitely high. And that definitely is low. Because if that's 6, 3 digits lower than 6. Oh no, if that's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, yeah. 5 is possible in either of those circles, actually. So we can't quite just willy-nilly. We could make them blue if we allow blue to include 5. We can't include 5 here. That's just too ludicrous for words, because that would imply there's no way to fill this line. Oh, hang on, why have I got... No, that's, oh, hang on. I made both of those blue, but that one is more likely to be orange. So 5 is the ambiguous digit. So I think I've got to be a bit careful with these two at the bottom. But surely it matters that I know, well, I know one of those is an 8 now. I know there's an 8 down here. I know this is low. 7, 6, 5. Oh, and we know that we have to allow the room. This has to be 1 or 2. We've worked out why it couldn't be 3, because 1, 2, 3 and 9 would have to occupy 3 cells in column 8. This is really clever, by the way. This is really clever. It's very unusual logic in my experience, at least, of between line puzzles. And if this is 2, that can work. Then well, providing those can be 1, 2 and 9 in some order, there might be a reason that's not possible. Although I don't know what it is. Okay, so if that was 1 and this was 2, 3, 4, why can't that be 5? Maybe it can be. And this is 2 or 3. There could be all sorts of things going on now, you know, in terms of trying to figure out. The natural implication of this being 8, though, seems to be on this. Oh, if that's 8, that's got to be 9, I suppose. If that's 8, that's 9. And that puts very little pressure on these digits. Wow, I don't know. So we're going to have to now figure out something else. Oh, no. For some reason I was thinking there was some coincidence between this 3, 4 thing and that 8, and there just isn't. Oh, 8's got to be in here now by Sudoku. So 8 is up there. Does that do anything? I don't think it does. 2. Oh, hang on. Oh, I see. That's lovely. This is weird, this puzzle. Okay, this is just very clever. Oh, yeah, love it. Okay, so let's look at this. Now, in theory, at least, we don't know where the 2 goes. I know I genuinely don't know where the 2 goes. But if the 2 is on the line, this must be a 1, mustn't it? And if the 2 is not on the line, there's a 2 looking at this square, making it a 1. So that is always a 1. Now, what, you may say, does that do? What that does is it places 1 in column 2. Because now, where is 1 in column 2? Remember, it can't go on a line. It can't go there, this cell by Sudoku. And it can't go there because of this quadruple clue, so it goes there. 1 can't go on a line, so 1 is in one of 2 cells, which places 1 in box... Wow, places 1 in box 3. Oh, I tell you what, that's not a 1. There are very few digits in my experience between 1 and 1. So we can get a 1 here. There's a 1 in one of those 3. That's 7 and 9 are now locked into a relative or a slightly smaller area than previously was the case. And oh, I really like that. Now, okay, so what's the idea? So now 9 in this column is either there or there. That's always been the case, actually. Oh, I know what we could do. I mean, Actually, I'm not sure. I was thinking that the digits that have to live, they have to be extreme digits, don't they, in all three of these positions? Oh, is that right? Maybe that's not right. Oh, I feel like it's right, but I'm not certain now. If I could put 2 there, I could put 2 there. I mean, could this be some random digit like 3? Then these digits would be 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, no, that's possible. Oh, yeah, sorry, no, I'm talking absolute nonsense. 6 is in one of those. I mean, that's just a dire. Why am I thinking about that? Okay, let's think about this cell. That digit is higher than 2 by at least 3, 4, 5. So it is at least a 6. But we know it can't be 6, don't we? For exactly the same reason that we had over here. If this is 6, there aren't enough digits between 6. These all have to be lower than 6. So that won't work. So again, this is going to be 8 or 9. Same thing again. Ah. Oh, nearly. Okay, where does that digit go in column 2 now? That's a totally legitimate question. And the answer is there. That is the same digit. These two are the same. Let's just highlight that for a moment. Now, does that matter then? So, is there something looking at either of these squares that prevents them from being one of these digits? I don't think there is, actually. So if this was 8, this would be 9, wouldn't it? Because 9, obviously. But if it's 9, then this digit has to be 2. Well, if that's 2, or does it depend on what this is? Yeah, maybe that's it, actually. What's this digit? Because I've got to allow there to be 6 digits lower than this digit in the puzzle. So even if I max this out at 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. In fact, doesn't this just have to be 2 then? No, because no, these could be the other way up. Oh, I see. Now, and that takes all the pressure off. Oh, that's confused me. Oh, this is weird. Yeah, sorry, I've got to be really careful. There's no problem with that being 5, is there? 9, 5, 6, 7, 8. Providing that is 2. One of these is 2. That is true. Because I need there to be 6 digits. Because neither of these circles can be 1. One of these is 2. And then there are 6 digits. Doesn't this have to be 9 then? Because neither of these can be 1. Maybe that's the point. Yeah, sorry, I'm being very slow. But if that's 8, let's make this, it doesn't matter. Let's make it 2 and that 3, just to show you why this doesn't work. Now, that means that between 2 and 8, there must be 6 digits, and there aren't. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... and then we've run out of digits. So in fact, that is why this is a 9, which means that is a 9. And now 9 is in one of those two squares. It can't go in its own, it can't go in a circle on the same between line. 8 is in one of 2 places in box 1. And the really odd thing about that is I think it takes all the pressure off this digit. But it does mean, this is ludicrous, it does mean there's a 2 in that domino. I've no idea whether that's worth noting, but I will try and notate it. And that's because one of these has to be a 2 in order to allow 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 to live on the lines here. Because that's the case. Because one of these is a 2, this 2, 8, the 2 must be on its right hand side. I'm now thinking, where is 2 in this column? And the answer is obviously here. Now I'm going to go back over here and wonder where 9 is, because 9 can't go there. So that's 9. Oh, and that's lovely. Good Lord, Tallcat. This is so clever. Now that can't be 9. And if that can't be 9, how could we possibly put 8 in this column on a line? You can't. So that's 8. That doesn't mean this is 7. It does mean that is 9 by Sudoku. Oh, yes, yes. This is really smart. Okay. Okay. And now, presumably, I mean, I'm about to say something that could be incorrect, so I'd better be careful, actually. 9 is in one of those squares. Where's 9 around that clue? Do we know that? Maybe not. I'm not sure. But this clue here is presumably now, it's maxed out at 7. So it's 7, 6, or 5. 5 would be okay, because this could be 2, 3, 4, and just be okay. But then this circle now, I feel like that has to be low. If that's 7, these can't be higher than 7, so 6, 5, 4. So this is 3, or this is 2 or 3. Okay, I didn't think I was justified. I don't think I was justified in saying that before, just considering this in isolation. But now, considering this, I think we do arrive at that conclusion. So we do get a 2, 3 pair. And that might mean something. Yeah. Okay. This one is not 2. And it's nothing to do with this. It's to do with this again. Because if that's 2, where's the 2 around that? And the answer is we don't know. But it is in one of those 2 squares. And that's going to put 2 on its own line. So that's 3. That's 2. This is mad. So 3 is up here now. So 3 is in one of those 2 squares. And okay, so now we've got to be a bit careful, don't we? 4, 5. Oh, we'd have to be incredibly careful. This is forced, because these digits all have to be higher than 3, and if I minimise them at 4, 5, 6, that becomes 7. And that's going to mean, it means 7 in this column has to be on the top line. Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, but yeah. Let's 5, 6. Oh, you can almost do some naughty Sudoku here. The bottom row is constrained, definitely. 2 is definitely in the green cells. This 8 clue is done. The 7 in this 7, 9 clue is in those cells, so that's slightly symmetrical with the 2 thing we discovered. So that can't, oh I see, so that can't be 7. The 7 in this quadruple clue is now in one of those squares. That probably does something, doesn't it? I'm not sure what, though. Oh, bobbins, I can't tell. Okay. So what should we look at next? Let's... Oh, no, I don't know if this works. Where is 6? Around this clue. There's a 6 over here. Yeah, and the other thought I was having was I was looking at the bottom row. I noticed this digit's quite restricted because that sees 1, 2 and 3. It sees 4, 5 and 6 and it sees 9. So I think that's 7 or 8. I don't know if we can do better than that. This square is 2 or 3, isn't it? This is better. That's actually a 4th digit, because that sees a quadruple clue 2. So simply by Sudoku, this square can't be middly. 4, 5 and 6 have gone. It can't be high. So it's 1, 2 or 3. It can't be 1, it can't be 2. That's a 3. Oh, no, so we don't get a 3 in the Christmas corner. The 3 around this clue is now there. So that's not 3. So this is coming right down. But by virtue of weirdities going on around these quadruple clues. That's a difficult. These are very difficult to pencil mark. Maybe I will keep trying to do it. So there is a 3 in here because of this. There is a 5 around there. There's a 5, 6 there. Who knows what this means? I don't know. Yeah, where's 2 in the bottom row? Is there, isn't it? So this digit is 8 by Sudoku. It can't be 7, so that is 7. Neither of these is 8. And that might be useful for the following reason. Come on, brain. Think of the reason. Think of the reason. I've not got the reason. 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 8 there. No, I don't think we can do. I'm going to pencil mark it in desperation rather than any particular hope. Okay. Is there something we can do with these quadruple clues around the middle box? Are weird. They don't seem to do nearly as much as I want them to. Right. No. Well, ish. The 3 in this column has to be on the top bit of the line. Now, is there any restriction on where it goes? No, there is. I don't think there is. 2 has to be in one of those squares, because these 2, remember, ended up in those positions. So 2 is in one of 2 places in box 3. Right, now I'm... Oh, that can't be... Oh, is it Sudoku? Using the black given digit, which I've ignored. I shouldn't ignore it after having 12 given digits in yesterday's puzzle. That was an absolutely ludicrous luxury. 5 is in one of those squares. Is that somehow useful? I don't know. Let's pencil mark these. 2, 4, 5, 6. Do we get anything from that? 6 comes out of these because I've got this 6 pencil mark over here. So these are from 2, 4 and 5. I don't know. This is bizarre. 7 is in this domino. I can pencil mark that. That's totally legitimate. This red domino is all in the same box, isn't it? So that's definitely not a 7. So if this was 7, this would be a 2-8 pair, and that would be 2, and this would be 8. And that fails because... Actually, it might not fail. That might be fine. Yeah, okay. No, I don't think we can do that. Right, so it's gonna... There must be some quadruple clue here, I think, or Sudoku clue. Oh, that's an interest. Where's 3 and 7 in the middle row? The answer is I don't know, but they're in those squares, and that can't be 7. We learnt that, and that won't be able to be 3 because of the 3, 4 thingy. So 7 is in one of these two. No. No. Oh, that's it. That is it. Oh, that's very clever. Yeah, this is beautiful, because now Sudoku comes to our rescue. Tallcat, you're just laughing at me, aren't you? Tallcat often laughs at me, especially when streaming. I think he's laughing at me now, because this square can't be 7 because of this red domino. So that makes this 7 and that 3. And that means that's no longer 3. This is no longer 7. And we know the 7 was in, so the 7 is there now. That's forced. And that means, oh, does it mean anything up here? It might do. Well, it's actually, oh, I see what it's doing. Now this clue comes into its own, because we know there's a 3 around it, and now I know that 3 goes in that square, which shunts the 2 and the 8 over into these squares. This can't be 3 anymore. And oh, come on, we've nearly found something out. 4 is in one of those squares now, I suppose, around this clue, because of this given 4. That doesn't seem to tidy up much. See, 5 and 6 are getting restricted over here as well. Oh, that's lovely. Right, that's it. That's the digit. This is the badger we're going to look for. Look at that square. Where does that square go around this 2-8 clue? And the answer is there. And if it, because it can't go in its own column, obviously, and it's not equal to that digit, so it must go there, and it can't be 2, so that's got to be 8. So that's a 2. Don't tell me that doesn't do anything. That must do something. 8 is now in one of those squares by Sudoku. Oh dear, oh dear. No, that's just mean if this doesn't work. I see. Right, 3 has come out of this. So this is now 7 by Sudoku, because it sees a 4-6 pair in its row. So now at least we know these digits. 1, 5 and 9 is what we have to put in here. It doesn't help us, but it does seem to be true. So we've got 3, 4, 6 and 7 into the wings. And that's not 1 anymore. So this becomes 1. This becomes 1. 1 is in one of those two cells, either of which would be oh, yeah, if that's 1, that's 9, and if that's 1, that's 2. That feels like it's probably resolved in some way. What's going on in the middle row then? 4, 5 and 6 to place. We know there's a 4 in that domino, I remember that. Okay, so 4 goes here. Yeah, this is almost designed to be an anti-Simon puzzle in terms of it's super clever, and it relies on a little bit of Sudoku spotting and a little bit too much for me to do it in any sort of efficient way. Right, now 2. Oh, we have got a chance of a 3 in the corner there. Look, we haven't. No, we've got it. We've got it. Where's 3 in the top row? And the answer is, oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your corners. Okay, well that's good. Now, what about those digits then? Can we do those? 3, 4 and 7. Maybe not. They probably are resolved. I just can't see why. I can see that's not 3. So 6 is definitely over there. So there's a sort of X-wing of 6s. Where's 6 in column 7 is a question. It can't be here. So it is in one of those cells. Now, have we got a way of telling which of those is correct? Don't know. Don't know. I'm not seeing that. Or, oh, 5. This clue I've not really used. That can't be 5. So 5 is in one of those squares. 5. that quadruple clue is quite interesting. Where's 5 around that? The answer is very much known. That's 5. That's 5. So this is 5. This is 5 here. We've got to have a 5 in this 4, 5, 6 triple. So 5, 6, 4, 4, 6, 6, 5. Is that true that that's a 6, 9 pair, or is that a nonsense that I've... No, that seems to be correct, doesn't it? I'm just looking at the pencil marks in the corners of the squares, and I've not put 2 into... Oh dear, I've made a mistake. Because I can't now put 2 anywhere in... Oh no, I don't need 2. I was thinking by Sudoku this is a 2, but it's not. It's a 4, and that's much better. Oh, that is much better. Thank goodness for that. Okay, so that becomes 7. This becomes a 3, 4 pair. In this row, we've not put in 6. This is a 6, 7 pair. My phone is buzzing at me. That's become a 9. So that should be a 5. That still seems okay. And I feel like I've written a lot of 5s into the grid recently. Let's have a quick look at those. No, it doesn't work. 5 is in one of those squares. It's probably going to be, well, is it another quadruple clue I've not looked at recently? I can see I've not put the 2 around here. I've not put the 9 around here. I've done the 3 and the 4. I've done the 5 and the 6. Okay. I've done this 5. I've done this 7. I've done that 9. Where should we look now? It could be, let's try column 5. 1, 8, 9. Yeah, yes, where's 1 in this column? It's only got 1 home. It's got to be here. So these are an 8, 9 pair. And that has 9 looking at it. So that's 8, that's 9, that's 8. So this is 9, this is 6. This is a 1, 2 pair. And presumably somehow or other that's resolved. What do we need in this box? 2, 3 and 9. Well, 3. Oh, well, if that's interesting, because if 3 goes there, I still need to put 2 around this clue, so that's got to be that way round. That fills in all of that box down there. This is now, that's great, that's now 4, 5 pair, which means these squares don't include, so this is a 2, 6 pair. This is a 4, 5 pair. This is a 6, 8 pair, which is resolved. It's probably been resolved for ages, and I've just not done my Sudoku. But anyway, forgive me. Now that seems to be 6. That's 5. That's 5. That's 4. That's 4. That's 3. That's 3. That's 7. This is 3. We need 2, 4, and 7. We can write them in, I think. Well, we can now. That's finished it. What a beautiful puzzle. Good grief. Is it right? Yes, it is right. 140 people have solved it in a month. Well, I'm not surprised. Brilliant. It's very clever. I was very slow to understand how it worked, and probably even slower with the Sudoku aspects. But it's got a really it's very, very smart the way the setup works. And this digit and this digit are not, they weren't immediately obvious to me that they were the crucial ones, but I think they are. Because they were sort of what I hadn't appreciated is that these two and these two were sort of the same polarity. They were either both high or both low. And so by setting this digit incorrectly, you could create the wrong number of digits between the values of whatever this was and whatever these two were. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful puzzle, and the way it the way it unwinds with the quadruple clues has been put together with, let me tell you, some skill. Tallcat, a welcome return. And maybe we'll see you later on tonight. Yeah, if this is an hour-long video, yeah, you've got time for a cup of tea or maybe a little, a wee dram before we stream in half an hour's time. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.